India's musical legacy is vast and wonderful. Tracing its journey from the time of the Natya Shastras, an ancient Indian discourse on the performing arts over 5,000 years old, to Hindustani classical and Carnatic music in the royal courts, India has been a storehouse of diverse cultural traditions. Immortalized in many forms, be it song, dance, theatre, film, or literature, the musical heritage of a nation brimming with centuries' worth of art and culture is thought to be well preserved in the pages of history. However, within these pages, we find a few crucial gaps in knowledge, neglected periods of time of which there is no record found. One such area is the beginning of the sound recording era in India, that is, the era of the phonograph and the wax cylinder. Chroniclers of Indian ethnomusicology have failed in their efforts to document the physical existence of even one cylindrical record from the early 1900s, and thus, early voice recordings of the greats of Hindustani classical music have been lost to the ravages of time, never to be heard again. Till now. In The Wonder That Was the Cylinder, we document author A.N. Sharma's 25-year-long search for remnants of India's sound recording history and showcase his efforts in unearthing priceless cylindrical recordings of Indian artists considered lost in the annals of time. The book is brimming with intricate details about a long-forgotten period of Indian history and brings to light the country's remarkable legacy in music, theatre, and film through elaborate historical accounts of some of India's greatest artists throughout the ages. The Wonder That Was the Cylinder is accompanied by this CD of extremely rare voice recordings of these artists. The following recordings have been extracted from wax cylindrical recordings that date back to the early 1900s, discovered through Mr. Sharma's own personal efforts over the past 2 decades. The famed multilingual and flamboyant nautch girl of colonial Calcutta, Gauhar Jan was a skilled vocalist of Hindustani classical music. Her tryst with music began at the tender age of 15, with her maiden performance at the royal courts of that time. Trained by the masters of Indian classical music, she pioneered the art of dancing while singing thumris. In an era of nautch girls, mehfils, and mujras, she made musical waves with her unique talents. There are many disc records of Gauhar Jan that have been found, but we have unearthed her voice on a brown wax cylinder, the only one of its kind. The earliest known Indian recorded cylinders from the year 1902 are preserved outside India in places such as the Berlin Phonogram Archive and other British museums. However, in the course of our research, we stumbled upon a group of cylinders dating back to the year 1899. These have thus been established as the earliest documented voice recordings of India in the world till date. Here is an unidentified voice from this long-forgotten era. While cylindrical records entered the global market from 1895 onwards, India wasn't too far behind, and many dealers soon started importing and selling phonographs and cylinders in India. One among them was Sheriar Aspendiar Phonograph Company, Kalbadevi, Mumbai. They used to visit interested parties and render their services of recording their voices. These privately recorded cylinders are perfect examples of Indian expertise in sound recording.
Phonograph Agency, Bombay.
The history of cylindrical sound recording would be incomplete without the contribution of Hemendra Mohan Bose. The first Indian to indigenously manufacture cylindrical blanks in 1900, H. Bose recorded many important voices, such as Rabindranath Tagore, Lal Chand Bural, and D.L. Roy. However, his role during the anti-partition movement of Bengal and dissemination of the patriotic song Bande Mataram cost him greatly, and most of his records were destroyed by the British government. All but one, in the voice of Dadasaheb of Metiabruz, Calcutta, appear to have perished. A relation of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah of Lucknow, Dadasaheb was recorded under various disc banners. Most of his cylindrical recordings were transferred onto Pathé discs. We have unearthed a cylindrical recording of Dadasaheb, but have yet to decipher and play its contents. For now, we bring you the voice of Purna Kumari Dasi, an actress from Calcutta that has been transferred from a cylinder onto a Pathé disc. There are certain maestros of yesteryear that, till now, have been considered unrecorded. One stalwart among the masters of this age was Ustad Alladiya Khan, the doyen of the Jaipur Atroli Gharana. No one till today can claim to have heard a recording of the great Ustad, and generations of researchers and music lovers have lamented that this celestial voice that we have read so much about has never been recorded and preserved for posterity. We are about to rewrite these pages of history. During the course of our research, we came upon perhaps the only surviving disc recording of the inimitable Ustad Alladiya Khan. Let us unveil this melodious proof of the great Ustad's voice. And now, we come to one of our rarest and most valuable finds in this project, Ustad Alladiya Khan's cylindrical recording, the only one discovered in the world till date. In the beginning, you can hear an announcement of his name, followed by a rendering by the Ustad, faint due to the advanced age of the cylinder. Another rare voice that we have discovered is the one on the cylindrical record of the great saint and musician Pandit V.D. Paluskar. Credited with pioneering musical education in India, V.D. Paluskar brought about a paradigm shift and forever changed the face of Indian classical music in the country. Breaking out of the Guru Shishya method of learning, Paluskar set up the first publicly funded and managed educational institution of music in Lahore and single-handedly elevated the status of the singing profession in society. We now bring you one of the earliest recordings of this musical visionary from a brown wax cylinder discovered in our efforts. We now take you into the world of Indian drama and theatre with the voices of some of the greatest performers on the stage. The great Bhaurao Kolhatkar, a legend on the Marathi theatre stage, started his career with Kirloskar Natak Mandli in 1882. A keen observer, Bhaurao didn't require much rehearsal, rapidly picking up the finer nuances of his roles and bringing them to life in his performance. His elegant physique and melodious voice mesmerized the audience. Bhaurao passed away in 1901, just before the commencement of the commercial recording era in the Indian subcontinent in 1902. Thus, we can safely assume that no one from the current generation has ever heard this charismatic voice. One of our most astonishing finds, therefore, was a cylinder with the rendition of a Nandi in his voice. Perhaps the only recorded voice of this great performer, surfacing before us today in proud defiance of the otherwise inevitable deterioration at the hands of time. Blessed with a voice that could master a range of styles, Pandit Bhaskarbuwa Bhakle was one of the most revered and versatile artists of his time. Starting off as a humble apprentice in the Kirloskar Natak Mandli, he was once harshly reprimanded by none other than Bhaurao Kolhatkar, one of his superiors, who mocked young Bhaskar's passion for music. Stung into action, he set out to carve a niche for himself by mastering a remarkable number of styles and enchanting peers and listeners alike with his dulcet tones. We showcase here a rare cylindrical recording of this maestro, heralded as one of the finest musicians in the realm of Hindustani classical music. At a tender age, Balgandharva took the stage by storm and conjured magic through his voice. Brimming with talent, he found fame and recognition in numerous plays. In an era when the stage forbid the presence of women, young Balgandharva changed the course of Marathi theatre forever. This legend mesmerized many with his superbly played feminine roles and left behind a vast repertoire of plays to be cherished by generations of theatre lovers. From humble beginnings at a theatre company to building up his own and a stint in the talkies, his memories are revived through wax cylindrical recordings discovered in the course of our research.
Balgandharva, Dadasaheb Phalke
We now enter the world of Parsi theatre, an increasingly popular genre of the performing arts in those times. Theatre troupes roamed freely across India during the late 19th and early 20th century. The Ram Prakash Theatre was founded in Jaipur by Maharaja Ram Singh Savai II, especially for Parsi theatre. One such rising star on this stage was Miss Allahbandi of Jaipur. We have discovered one of her scarcely found disc recordings and have also stumbled upon this rare and only existing cylinder of her voice in the play Bazme-e Fani, an adaptation of the Shakespearean classic Romeo and Juliet. Last but not the least, we take you to the world of Indian cinema and its father and founder, Dadasaheb Phalke. More than a century after his and India's first silent feature film, Raja Harishchandra, was released, his illustrious works still project poetry on screen. The incredible journey of Dadasaheb Phalke resulted in the birth of an industry that has carved a place for itself in world cinema today. The voice of this luminary has been discovered on a wax cylinder, recording his experience while producing Raja Harishchandra.
इंडियन सिनेमा बनाला त्याला काही कारण होती. आज 1913 राजा हरिश्चंद्र हा सिनेमा बनवला आणि आज हिंदुस्थान सिनेमाचा पाया रचला गेला.
The wonder that was the cylinder fills in these missing pages of India's musical history. This fascinating account of India's contribution to sound recording is written by Mr. A.N. Sharma and his daughter Anukriti, aiming to spur like-minded researchers on in their quest for such items of historical significance in our country's past. Through this project, we hope to infuse fresh enthusiasm into global as well as national research of cylindrical sound recording through the ages. We hope you experience the same elation reading as we did putting together this labor of love.